On the modern battlefield, there's one sound that instantly sends the enemy into panic. Not the sound of a stealth jet. Not the sound of a hypersonic missile. But a loud, brutal sound like a giant chainsaw descending from the sky. And seconds later, tanks start exploding. Despite being slow, old, and ugly, for decades, the A-10 Warthog remained one of the world's most feared war machines. And the reason it's so beloved is far crazier than most people imagine. When it was first introduced in the 1970s, many considered the A-10 a joke. It had an odd shape. The engines looked like they had been haphazardly installed. It had straight wings like an old-school airplane. And its speed was even slower than many modern fighter jets. The elite jet pilots of the US Air Force often mocked it. They said, "The A-10 doesn't have a clock in the cockpit, it has a calendar." A brutal mockery of an aircraft deemed too slow. But the Pentagon learned something from the Vietnam War. Fast fighter jets weren't always effective in supporting troops on the ground. Too expensive. They were too fast. It would be too difficult to survive long on the battlefield. America needed a new monster. A plane that could fly low and survive under fire from all directions. Then the A-10 Warthog was a better fit. There's a reason the A-10 looks so strange. Because it's actually built around a single weapon. The GAU-8 Avenger. A giant 30mm cannon with 7 barrels. This weapon is so big, it almost looks more suited to a warship than an airplane. The GAU-8 is capable of firing nearly 4,000 rounds per minute. And its rounds are designed to penetrate tanks. When the trigger is pulled, the entire plane vibrates. That famous T isn't just a sound effect. It's the sound of destruction. And the craziest part, this weapon is so heavy that when it's removed for maintenance, the tail of the plane has to be propped up to keep its nose from falling to the ground. The A-10 isn't a plane with a gun. The A-10 is a gun with wings. But the A-10's greatest strength isn't just its armament. It's survivability. The cockpit is protected by a thick layer of titanium. Pilots call it the titanium bathtub. This aircraft is designed to keep flying even after taking heavy hits. And that's not theory. It's real. In 2003, Captain Kim Campbell was hit by anti-aircraft fire in Iraq. The rear of his aircraft was destroyed. The hydraulic system failed completely. The aircraft began to lose control. In many modern jets, that would have been the end of the world. But not for the Warthog. Campbell activated the backup manual system. And with the aircraft almost completely destroyed, he managed to bring it home. Photos of the aircraft after landing make it impossible to fly. But that's the A-10. A monster that refuses to die. When the Gulf War began in 1991, the world finally saw the Warthog's true capabilities. It destroyed over 900 Iraqi tanks, over 2,000 military vehicles, and thousands of other enemy positions. Iraqi forces even gave the A-10 a terrifying nickname, Cross of Death, because every time the Warthog appeared, destruction followed. And ironically, the aircraft once derided as too slow has become one of the most effective war machines in modern conflict. The A-10's biggest enemy isn't just on the battlefield, but in Washington. For years, the Pentagon has been trying to retire the Warthog to make room for the F-35. A new generation of aircraft. Faster, more modern, more expensive. But there's one big problem. Nothing can truly replace what the A-10 does. Because real warfare doesn't always require the most advanced technology. Sometimes all it takes is something brutal enough to save the troops on the ground. And why? Even after decades, the Warthog still flies. in a world filled with stealth jets, AI drones, and digital warfare. An old Warthog still survives. Slow, rugged, noisy. But when the troops below call for help, the A-10 always comes. And maybe that's why the world has never forgotten the Warthog. Because in the end, wars aren't always won by the most modern, but by the most capable when everything goes to hell. That's the A-10, unpredictable, yet still deadly to this day. We at M4V thank you and see you in the next video.